Hey, what's happening? Dean Delray here. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Let There Be Talk. It's the weekend of September 29th. And I got a great episode here. Going to do a little celebration of the Seattle music scene. Since this week, it's 20 years of Nirvana's In Utero record. And also Pearl Jam has a new record coming out called Lightning Bolt. Pearl Jam, been together 22, 23 years, something like that. Nirvana, can you believe it? 20 years ago, In Utero record. Just insane, man. And here it is. You put that Nirvana record on right now, and it's just as vital right now as it was 20 years ago. Matter of fact, 20 years ago, the record company labeled it unreleasable. They thought In Utero sounded terrible. Steve Albini produced it. They're like, this is terrible. And, you know, Kurt Cobain didn't want to do another Nevermind. Puts out this totally crazy record, which I thought was by far their best record, In Utero. Insane. Pearl Jam, new record. Lightning Bolt, not the car, Volt. The Volt, Lightning Volt. Lightning Bolt, man. 22 years, Pearl Jam. Can you believe it? Still together, still alive. All the guys are alive. They made it. And they're still vital. They play arenas. They got great songs. I don't care what you say. If you don't like Pearl Jam, that's just being idiotic. They've got so many records out. There's got to be something in there that touched you. But the main thread on this episode is a guy named Andrew Wood. He sang in a band called Malfunction. Then later on became Mother Love Bone, which had members of Pearl Jam in it. Andrew Wood is one of my all-time favorite singers to ever come out of Seattle. The guy was a rock star. He looked cool. He sang cool. He had great lyrics. He was just a god. And I had a great friend come by, comedian Jason Gillearn, and he and I watched the Andrew Wood Malfunction documentary, which is we talk about in this episode, which you should watch because it's moving and it really gets into the Seattle thing. Also, if you've never seen the Pearl Jam documentary 20, you should watch that, or the making of Nirvana's Nevermind or In Utero. Seattle, you know, I love the music today still. It really stuck with me. It doesn't sound dated to me. I mean, some of it does, you know, it's like, Jeremy, you know, whatever. But, man, the music and the vibe, they created something. And it's still here today. So sit back, check out Jason Gillearn, amazing comedian, good friend, cool dude, and myself talk about Seattle rock and roll. And congratulations to Pearl Jam on their new record and the Nirvana re-release. One last note before I get into the episode. Mark Maron is at the Ice House October 13th, and I will be opening for him. This is pretty special for me. I'm fired up. Please come to the Ice House, 7 p.m. show, October 13th. Also, I'm headlining at the Punchline November 20th at the Punchline in San Francisco. Please get tickets in advance at the Punchline website. And I think this is going to be the first episode on All Things Comedy. So there you go. Celebration weekend. If you want to donate to the podcast, it helps greatly. Dean Delray at yahoo.com. Hit me up and I'll tell you how to do that. Thanks for listening. You guys have been fantastic Delraisers out there across the world. Let's see, one quick shout out. I think I got a good shout out. Let me find it. A lot of you guys have been donating to the podcast. Very cool. And one of them, let's see. I got to find, I think it's Steve from Worlds Apart. I hope I got that right because I'm just stupid. I don't have it fired up here. Let me find it real quick, and then we'll get into the episode. Don't forget, you can also email me and just say hi A lot of you have been doing that, which is cool, and suggesting guests. Believe me, I want to get any guest I can that I think's cool. And how great was that last week episode? Mike Damone, Fast Times, Bob Moranis, right there. We went to his open mic last night. Bill Burr and I went to his open mic at Bob's Espresso in Studio City in NoHo there. If you're a comedian, every Friday at 8 o'clock, Bob has an open mic. Anyway, I was doing shout-outs. I'm all sidetracked, ADD. I'm still in bed, actually. But shout-out to everyone, man. Shout! Shout at the devil! All right, guys, here it is. Episode 51, Let There Be Talk. Hey, what's happening? We got a new episode right here of Let There Be Talk, recorded on a Sunday, actually, out here in the Hollywood Hills. It's pretty beautiful today. Wrong day to be indoors doing podcasts, but you got to do what you got to do, right?
Am I live here?
There you go, man.
Okay, well,
Introduce yourself.
Jason Gillearn, and I'm doing what I can. I'm half fucking naked. I got no shirt. I'm used to the valley, Dino, so I walk around half naked all the time and then jump in my fucking pool. I will say that there's no AC in here. I've listened to your fucking very, very cool podcast, but I got the feeling I was driving to a fucking hovel.
Yeah.
Like a lot of comics live in Hollywood, so I'm just picturing this fucking shithole. But you're up in the fucking hills.
Yep.
I mean, there are $1 million fucking homes, multi-million-dollar homes on each side of you, and you have the fucking right idea. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's a guest house. I don't want people to think I'm rich. Then they don't
No. Well, no. That's why I fucking thought that. You're always saying, I'm broke, man. I'm broke. Dude, you're doing all right. You got to fucking...
I am broke, though. Like, I mean...
Everyone's broke, dude.
Yeah, I mean, in a way of like... I don't even know where I'm going to pay rent next week. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? To keep this fucking place, I'll help you out because it's super woodsy. It's like you're fucking up in NorCal. Yeah. Up in fucking just north of the Bay Area. And like Neil Young, it looks like Neil Young's about to pop out of your fucking room here, man.
Well, when I moved here from San Fran, I mean, I come to Hollywood for years and I'd go to those Hollywood Hills parties, and you're always thinking, God, I got to live in the hills.
Right.
That's what, to me, Hollywood is. You live in the hills, then you go down and you fucking get with the demons, and then you come back. You know what I'm saying? That, to me, is Hollywood. Living in the flats, I knew that would kind of eat me alive. You got the helicopters down there. You still got the shitty crime of, like, people doing car stereo robbery. Like, stupid shit like that. You're going, what the fuck?
No, I mean, sometimes the hills can be a little shady, too. This is fucking perfect.
Yeah.
And you're right in the mix still, just a little ways up. I love it.
Yeah, this neighborhood is epic, too. I live in Beechwood Canyon.
This is Beechwood Canyon. I've heard that for years. I never knew where the fuck that was.
Yeah, so Beechwood Canyon's the entire neighborhood under the Hollywood sign. And it's basically swarmed with probably mostly artists, actors, musicians, comedians.
And hot fucking women. I'm watching these chicks jog up here going, holy shit.
You jogged up here?
No, I'm watching these fucking women jog. They're all gorgeous fucking women.
Oh, yeah,
man.
yeah. I mean, you look like you jogged here. You're wearing shorts and nothing else. You come over like some naked gay man. Something like, I'm here to clean the pool. And he's drinking Red Hook like an extra torture. He's drinking my favorite beer.
And I'm bald. I definitely look like I'm about to fucking cum on some guy's face. But I love pussy and only pussy, for the record.
There you go. Okay. You never done any dudes?
No. 100% pussy. Okay. Love only pussy. Not homophobic at all.
Yeah, me either.
But I do love pussy. And I've heard you say that you do love Red Hook, so I brought you fucking one for your... wherever that you put it on
for
your
my mantle. Yeah. That's just a reminder of my. You know, it's great that you brought that, actually, because I wanted to talk about jute boxes, and that beer reminds me of one of the greatest jute boxes that I used to hang around with. And I do call it hanging around with, because you hang around with a jukebox, you know, they're like your buddy.
Literally a jukebox.
That's right. Okay. Jukeboxes, to me, and the reason I thought about jukeboxes was a couple nights ago. I was at Swingers, and a song came on, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this? This is great!" And I can't believe how cool Shazam is.
I was just gonna say it. If you don't have that, I use it all the fucking time. Love
Whoever
it.
invented Shazam should be the president.
It's amazing. It's amazing
because that thing. How does that
I'll be
even
driving. I'll be driving, and my kid's always in the fucking back seat, like on the way to water polo. Something. If I don't know something, I'm like, Shazam this. He'll Shazam it. Tell me, oh fuck, I knew that. But it's amazing, and then
Right.
it keeps all the fucking songs. So when you space,
Yeah.
you got a list of all the shit.
You can
it's
go.
amazing.
You can go buy it.
So who was the?
So this particular time, and this happens to me over my lifetime of a good jukebox. This particular time was Buzzcocks.
Oh, the Buzzcocks.
So I never even listened to Buzzcocks because growing up, I was more metal and rock. I skipped punk. A lot of people were totally into punk. I liked like Devo, and I've talked about it many times. Dead Kennedys, Black Flag.
Right.
That's the gist of it. I was into some other stuff too later on, but all that stuff, like later on I found out from jukeboxes like X and now Buzzcocks, Joy Division.
Oh, I love Joy Division.
Yeah, all this kind of music that I missed growing up. And I think mostly I missed it because I was kind of an asshole growing up where if somebody I didn't like was into the band and they tried to, you gotta listen to Buzzcocks. If I didn't like the guy, I wasn't gonna listen to the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, fuck that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, well,
Buzzcocks. Have you listened to it? I want to give you guys a song.
That's one of those other fucking bands that heard a million times, knew people that loved the fucking Buzzcocks, but really never got into them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had no one to turn you on to shit,
That's right.
forget about it. But now what's great about the fucking Shazam and all that shit is like you can go back and you got full albums.
Yeah.
Imagine that if we had that fucking growing up. Full albums for fucking free, man.
Well, I think the point of the story is that
Don't be a dick.
jukeboxes to me have really fucking been a big part of my life over the years. That's how, I remember the first time I heard Nick Cave, Do You Love Me? It was on a jukebox at Murray's Trophy Room on Haight Street.
Right.
I was like, what the fuck is that?
Right.
And I think jukeboxes are the soul of the place that you're at. I hate those new digital ones where they have like 4 million songs. It's basically like
Right.
You can pick any song you want. I don't like that because then, people are up there playing some ironic song they want to hear.
Right.
Oh, listen to that. I want the jukebox to be the old school one with the CDs in it.
Right.
And then I know the soul of the owners or the employees that are in there because that's who fills that jukebox.
Really?
Well, usually I
right.
got like the 101 Cafe has one and Swingers has one.
I haven't seen. It's funny you say because I miss a lot of shit. I'm oblivious to a lot of shit. I haven't seen a fucking jukebox in I can't tell you how long.
Yeah, well, when you see one, you immediately go over and look at it like a fucking fish tank. You know what I mean? You start swimming through it. You go, wow.
Right.
This place is cool. They got
Right.
fucking kayaks. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right.
And then immediately you start looking around at the employees and you go, oh, well, that guy must have picked this fucking one. So the Swingers one last night, I was there again last night, and then somebody picked the entire Jane's Addiction first record. And
Love
there I
it.
am just listening to this record again going,
Love it.
fucking great. 3 a.m. Just did some comedy. Now I'm
Amazing.
listening to Jane's Addiction. I'm looking around. It's all the Hollywood freaks in there. And I was like, the jukebox is
Yeah.
a god to me.
Well, two things. Pandora is the fucking jukebox. That's why everyone's listening to Spotify now or whatever. T was
Right.
telling me about. But I like Pandora because you fucking it just does it for you. I don't have to. You said there's 4,000 records. I can't when I want to look up something. I can't even fucking think. I need to be told at this age,
Right.
listen to this. And then I fucking love it.
Yeah, exactly.
But
How old
dude,
are you?
I'll be 43 in November.
Cool, right on.
So the thing is, dude, the Jane's Addiction record, I remember the first time I heard that. And I was in San Jose, which is where I'm from.
Yep.
I know you're from the city.
Yep.
But it's still San Jose and San Francisco. It's now 45 fucking minutes.
That's right.
But it's
light years.
Light fucking years, especially
years.
back then.
It's like if you were going to be Hollywood and you go to fucking...
Right. Anywhere. 45 minutes fucking anywhere.
Anywhere.
Right.
And you're
else.
like, whoa.
Yeah. 20 fucking years ago.
Like Kawanga or whatever,
right?
Chula Vista, shit like that, you know.
Right.
I always
the
say
10 West or 10 East.
Staples Center.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And dude, but anyway, so here's the point. So I'm at a fucking party, and this dude who I think had friends in LA took me to this fucking party in San Jose. So San Jose is fucking lame. I mean, you go to a bar in San Jose, it's like there's some hipsters, there's some fucking cowboys,
it's just
there's
fake.
some black dudes, all in one bar.
No soul.
No soul at all.
No soul.
So
never had a soul, never will.
This fucking record comes on. The guitar is different. The fucking tribal drums. And I'm going, what the fuck is this? Because this is, 90? 90. And I'm going, right away, I love fucking music.
Yep.
I'm like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever heard. I remember reading an article about when Nevermind came out. And this girl said, I think it was in fucking Rolling Stone, and these girls said when they heard that record, they were jumping up and down on their fucking beds.
Yeah.
Like they were waiting for something like that. I felt the same way about the Jane's record when I heard it. Then the second fucking record came out. They had the EP, the first one, Nothing Shocking, and then Ritual came out.
Yeah.
I remember getting that record immediately, so stoked that they were coming out with a new record, getting it immediately, giving it to a fucking dude who I went to high school with.
Yeah.
Gave it to him in college. I went to San Jose. I went to San Jose State.
Yeah.
Gave him that fucking record. I was like, dude, listen to this. And we were kind of friends in high school. Then we started hanging out a little bit. I'm like, just take it. I'm like, listen to this for fucking, I'll see you on campus or whatever. Hold on to it.
Yeah.
It's, I don't even remember, a few weeks or whatever. He's like, this sucks, man. What the fuck is this?
Wow.
And I was like going, bro, give me the fucking disc back.
Yeah, just unfollow.
Go listen to Rat.
Unfollow.
right.
In real life.
1990, right. And the thing is, but I can almost understand it. Not really, because it's one of the greatest records ever.
Yep.
But like, it was such a fucking like cosmic shift from the bullshit that you were listening to back then with the 80s and all that. That he was like, he couldn't wrap his mind around it. I was like, dude, this is fucking.
Yeah, well,
what's
some
happening?
people don't. It's like I talked to every guest. Some people don't get good shit.
I've just listened to on the way here. I listened to Flame. Is it the dude on Flame? And it's like, I could see how people get stuck in shit.
Yeah,
and whatever else.
You get stuck. People get stuck in the '80s, and then they. I don't really know how that happens. But I think it happens from not traveling. I'm starting to get it now. Maybe no culture. They don't reach out. Maybe never read a book. Didn't listen to jazz. Whatever.
All the above.
Haven't been to an art gallery.
Or a fucking
just
dick.
Any kind of fucking thing. You know what I mean? It's almost like a jock mentality. You know, play football. Get a job, make houses, drink beer, fuck chicks. You know what I mean? I don't really get that.
Well, this dude was a little bit like that. He was a cooler guy than that. But right away, I love music so much that I wasn't jumping up and down in the fucking bed. But when I heard that guitar, I love that record. And I still listen to Nothing Shy, which is fucking now. You go on YouTube, that album's there. Ritual album is there.
Yeah.
It's all fucking there. These kids can fucking go.
It's great.
It's. I mean, it takes away. I mean, people still go to the record stores and shit. I don't do that anymore. Like, I don't buy any fucking.
Well, now
music.
I buy vinyl.
Right.
And man, I really get off on it. You know, like I just dig. Like there it is over there. Like I got to get Nothing Shocking on vinyl.
Yeah, I love that. No, Dino, you are a fucking traditionalist. I'm looking at your wall. He's got original fucking pictures of Axl. All sorts of fucking CDs. Just create. I mean, this is like it's like the Roxy here. There's two.
I listened to probably about 35 of them.
No, it is like the Roxy in here, man. I love it.
So anyway, the reason you're over, couple reasons was
we're not gonna fuck.
Well, I wish that people could see it because you do. You're bald. You have a mustache. You're wearing shorts and nothing else.
Oh shit! Jane's Addiction, man. They thought they would look like freaks too back then.
Okay,
they still do now.
So here's what happened a couple nights ago. I'm looking at Rolling Stone, which Which, by the way, I really do like this RollingStone.com website, which is weird. It's
cool.
I mean, it's not like hip indie or whatever, but they have little nuggets each day that I grip into and start, reading. Like, oh, cool. One of the things they'll have like categories like 100 greatest guitarists or 100 greatest singers, all that shit. But a couple days ago, I'm looking at this thing and it comes up, Pearl Jam Unleash Explosive Mind Your Manners video. And I started sitting there and I started realizing that, fuck, man, 22 years this band's been together.
Incredible.
And then I started thinking about like that the whole grunge, whatever you want to call it. They call it the grunge scene. Then I started thinking like Stone Gossard, who's the guitar player, and then Jeff, I guess it's Amit.
Ahmet, yeah.
He's one of those names, it's like Josh from Queens.
Right.
Everyone says his last name different.
Right.
But these two guys, I started thinking, have been in some incredible bands.
Yeah.
And wrote incredible songs, and they're still around forever. Like Stone Gossard, no one ever talks about this guy.
Right.
And he's the guitar player in Pearl Jam, but he was in Green River. But he was in a band that lit fire for me in 1989-90, and which is funny. You're from San Jose because this is where I saw the band at the Cactus Club.
Oh, the Cactus
and I have a bootleg of it. Mother Love Bone.
Right.
Now, what got me into this was I was watching the Pearl Jam new video on YouTube, and over to the right corner, like when you're watching porn, there's better shit going on. So I see Malfunction, the Andrew Wood story. I remember this movie came out about, I don't know when it came out. You said you saw...
I looked it up on IDBM or whatever the fuck that's called.
IDBM? IMDb?
Whatever it's called.
You work a lot in the biz.
I'm an actor, obviously.
Yeah.
But it said 2007. I could be mistaken. And then you said 2010.
Well,
so maybe
10 is, I think, when it was posted on YouTube.
Right. Well, those fucking interviews of Cornell and all those cats, they look young, man.
Yeah,
which
they
is
do look young.
super cool,
Right. So what I'm trying to get into was in about 89, 90, this band from Seattle, before the grunge hit, and right around Appetite for Destruction's huge smash, a band comes out called Mother Love Bone. Now, if you don't know who they are, a lot of people don't. They were a band that's basically kind of the Pearl Jam now. Jeff on bass, Stone Gossard on guitar, and then they had a few other guys that didn't go with them in Pearl Jam. But they had this band that was...
Guns predated that by a year or two.
Yeah, right. But what I'm saying is in between Appetite and the Illusion records, this band comes around. And it's before grunge, and they hit. And I remember it just set fire in San Fran and the Haight-Ashbury. Like that's where I was living or hanging out there, like around the I-Beam and Nightbreak and shit. Every place on that street was playing this record.
Cool.
And it's called Apple. It's incredible. Now, if you don't own it, man, you've got to the songs on it are insane. Stardog Champion, Holy Roller, my favorite, Bone China.
Champion.
Now, if you've seen Pearl Jam, you might have seen him do Chloe Dancer, Crown of Thorns. It was also on the single soundtrack.
Bro, when that fucking song came on the documentary, I had forgotten about that. And I was just like, oh. And it took me back to when Cobain offed himself, right? I was in San Francisco. I was going to USF. My buddy was in Berkeley. And it happened, got the news, so bummed out. Then I went to Berkeley. We fucking smoked pot all weekend. Depressed, like fucking bummed. And then, so I was bummed, and then we were in the lower, he was in like the fucking dorms or whatever. We were in, the dorms, they had the lower fucking dorms, right? Where all the kids were there. And I remember seeing it on the news again. Kurt Loder, Kurt Cobain, blah, 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 dead at the age of 27, whatever. And then they go into the fucking second cut, Come As You Are. And it hit me again. I was just like, oh, it's over.
Yep.
And I knew about it that day. But a few hours later, I was just like, no fucking way. I felt the same way because the first track on the fucking Apple record is whatever.
This is Shangri-La.
Right. And then that came on because I had the single soundtrack, and I was just like, what a waste. What a fucking waste.
Yeah.
Man.
It's
Love
really,
that track.
It's really weird because I was talking to Marin about it. There's so much heroin going on around at that time.
Right.
It's really weird. And when you look at this singer, if you watch this movie, you guys should watch this movie and you should own this record.
The record is, by the way, is on YouTube as well. The fucking re-release.
Yeah, the re-release.
The
It's all on
re-release.
there.
It's got the shine, and the whole thing is on fucking YouTube. It's got 6,000 hits.
So if you listen to this record and you watch the movie, you look at the guy and you go like, wow, how is this guy? How did he get into like heroin? Because he looks good. He doesn't look like your classic junkie. He's got long hair. He kind of looks like a David Lee Roth meets like Elton John. He wore really flamboyant clothes, kind of that jellyfish big hat, floppy
Love
hat.
that band too.
Four
man.
non-blondes. Look, everybody was kind of dressing like they were Road Warrior meets, I don't know, like Cat in the Hat.
It was funky shit.
It was
for
funky
sure.
clothes.
Cat in the Hat. It was.
Right?
That was the fucking jellyfish for sure.
That was for sure. So when you look at the guy, you go like, wow, how did this guy... And I remember vividly what went down when it happened. But you look at him and go, how does this guy get into heroin? And then you watch this movie and you go, fuck.
He was stoned from 12, dude.
And his family is like straight honey boo boo. You know, the mom is crazy.
Yeah.
The dad and mom beat each other.
Yeah.
They drink. There's three brothers or two other brothers. They're lunatics.
Yeah, they're doing heroin too, right? The one fucking
The one guy's doing acid, heroin, everything. And you start looking at it and you go, man, this is just kind of the product of that Northwest, you know, of the blue collar trying to survive in America in the 80s.
Right.
And having 3 kids, which
Right.
is probably the grueler. And you start to watch this film and you go, man, you can see what's going to happen.
Well, what I took was strange, man. It looked like the All-American Family at first.
At
all right,
first.
so it's got the old man's talking at his fucking funeral. Already, I'm 10 seconds in going, can't even watch this. It's so fucking depressing. And then you see him building the fucking house out in the middle of nowhere. It's incredible.
House too. The guy's a carpenter.
Right.
He builds this full log
Right.
mansion craftsman.
Well, you know what? They didn't really dwell on too much on the fucking documentary, but it has to be talked about, was the old man went to fucking Vietnam.
That's right.
The Alice in Chains, I
Same
think.
thing.
Yeah, Cantrell's
Vietnam.
fucking old man, right? I think it was Cantrell's. Or one of the
Yeah,
dudes.
it's Cantrell,
yeah,
Rooster.
Yeah, so it was all those dudes were all the same fucking age. Their old men were the same age. You don't come back from that fucking war, not fucking Twisted Sister. And then you booze, your old lady boozes.
Yeah.
And the thing, when she cries at the end. But anyway, so it starts off great.
Starts off great.
And
you're
then-
looking at it, you're going, this is a great family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then they start, they say it in one sentence. I drank, she drank. She's taught. The mother's out of her fucking mind.
She's
And then
out of her mind.
They beat the fucking shit out of each other. The kids are seeing that. And then, that's
This
where
is when I knew the family was fucked up. And about 30 minutes into the film, when they go, well, we went and bought Andrew a piano at a garage sale, and we didn't tie it down. He was in the back of the truck with it, and the father went
Right.
around the turn too fast. She doesn't say he was drunk.
Right.
Which you know right there.
Right.
And the piano flew out of the
Thank
truck.
God he wasn't hurt.
I know.
She was out of her fucking mind.
And the piano falls out of the truck and explodes. You know?
And then he puts it back together.
He puts it back together, which you
Well,
after you see
dude,
the house.
I knew that she was fucking out of her mind. 10 seconds of her opening her fucking mouth. I've seen fucked up parents. She's fucked up.
Yeah.
And I could tell right away.
Absolutely.
And interestingly enough, he's just like her.
Yeah.
He's just like her. Looks like her, eccentric like her. But the thing that was so fucking sad about the documentary, and I don't want to ruin it because I know your fucking listeners should listen to it. Malfunction, Google it, or you go to YouTube, Malfunction with a K,
Yep.
right?
The Andrew Wood
The
story.
Andrew Wood story. And then she says at the fucking end, she didn't take care of her fucking kids.
It was incredible.
She didn't take care. They're running a fucking around.
Just
How do you
neglect.
have? I have 2 kids.
Yeah.
They're fucking 8. They're gonna be 9. They're 8 and 10. They're gonna be 9 and 11 soon. My kid's not gonna be fucking smoking weed at 12 years old.
Yeah, but it's
not
a
gonna
different
happen.
era back then.
It's a different
right?
era, but you can take care of your fucking kids in any era, bro.
Well, I think
and
the
she
thing,
feels fucked up over it.
I
you
think
know?
the thing you're talking about is pretty fucking right on, and I never even thought about that was Vietnam.
100%.
I'm glad I didn't grow up in a family where a father went to Vietnam because bottom line, you kill people when you're in war,
Right.
and that does not leave your mind.
No, those cats are fucking tweaked. They're all dying off now. I mean, now it's 2013. Those dudes are dying off. There's, they're on the streets. And sadly, the same fucking thing is going on right now. And the product of those fucking kids are being born right now, too. Those dudes are coming back from Iraq. They're fucking tweaked.
Yeah.
Way tweaked.
They are.
Way tweaked. Not
is.
maybe in seeing battle, but just worried about the IEDs. They're fucked up. They're killing people. They're killing themselves.
Yeah.
And the same shit's happening.
Yeah, I don't really know how you're. I was talking to a guy last night. We were out eating, and he just started watching The Sopranos again. And I think what people don't really, I don't know if they got it like I got it. I mean, I'm not saying like, hey, I really get this. But what I got from The Sopranos more than anything, there's so much stuff in there that people get. What I got was the weight of murder never leaves your mind. And you really get that in the first, second, third season, like when Christopher first kills someone. He's never killed anyone.
Right.
And he wants to be in the mafia, and he kills a guy, and they bury him out underneath the bridge. And for months, he's having these dreams of like, you didn't kill me, and he's fucking waking up. The guy's talking to him that he killed.
Right.
And he has a conversation with the guy, and the guy goes, oh, your first time, huh?
Right.
It gets easier later on. And I started, that always sat with me like, this is genius that they're showing the weight of that. You're going to get money and riches from the mob, but you're going to die from like guilt later.
Or karma, and you'll be fucking killed.
Karma, exactly.
No, you can't let that go. Unless you're a fucking sociopath, you can't let that go.
So if Vietnam guys have to be having these, when they have flashbacks,
100%.
You see that guy's face in your face.
Dude, fucking Iraq, Vietnam, World War II, World War I, they didn't even fucking know what to call it. After World War I, they called it shell shock. They didn't fucking have, now it's just like PTSD and all that. All those cats from World War II, there might be a few left. Those fucking dudes, the way they were in that generation, they didn't talk about it. So they came back talking to nobody, and they used to fucking scream. I've seen so many documentaries where the dudes don't talk about it to their kids, not to their wife, but they're waking up in the middle of the night fucking screaming.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah,
the same
because that's
screaming.
back then. It was you had to man up.
Yeah,
be
yeah,
a
yeah.
man. You fuck.
Yeah.
That's what you fought for your country.
That's it.
You get back and you go back to work. It's like you're a mechanic at fucking Chevron working on some cars, and a guy all of a sudden comes in that is like yells at you or something, and then you just go, "Hey,
Snap.
motherfucker!" Yeah.
Well, the fucking thing was the dudes that came back from World War II. At least the government really helped them. They gave them cheap housing. They're like, we need to repopulate.
Treated them right.
Here's a fucking house. Go bone your lady. Go have fucking 4 kids. The guys from Vietnam, those cats had no education.
Oh, they were thrown in the garbage.
No education. All the fucking dudes that had any money, they're like, you're going to college. You're not going to Vietnam. You're going to college, or you're going to fucking whatever. Those cats came back, no education, tweaked in their head, and now they're on the fucking streets.
Yeah.
Or we're on the streets, So that's 100% that impacted that family. I saw that right away. I was like, oh, shit. And I thought of Alice in Chains right away.
Yeah, Alice in Chains. It comes down to a topic, too, that I remember I had this conversation with an A&R guy in like 1989. And I said all the great records were made on heroin.
Right.
All the great records. And he was like, well, I never really thought about that. Maybe you're right.
Right.
I mean, of course there's records that weren't, but I'm saying.
And the thing is, dude, it's like, you're right. And the dudes who don't do or haven't done heroin, they're coming up. If all your heroes are doing fucking heroin,
You got to jump on.
that's it.
So that's
it.
basically when you look down, when you look at it, you got an entire city that is like an epidemic of heroin going on. You know, it's like so bizarre to think about. But then you think about these records that came out. You got Mother Love Bone. You got Alice in Chains, Soundgarden. You
Incredible.
have
Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam. But, you know, they didn't do any dope, you know. I don't know.
Cobain had a big problem with fucking Pearl Jam. But I'll tell you what, like, that was the band when I was 21, when that came out, 22. When I heard that first record, that was it.
Pearl
I was
Jam?
like, yes.
Right.
That was the fucking right. And there still to this day, you have people, less and less people, I think, that go, I didn't like Pearl Jam, never liked them. And then you have some people go, man, they have fucking, I just recently got into Pearl Jam. But I'll tell you what, I saw them again. I mean, I've seen them a bunch of times. Saw them again, maybe, I don't even know, fucking the last record before this one just dropped. And it was packed, and the fucking crowd sang every note of every fucking song.
Oh, they're like Grateful Dead.
Yes,
you know?
they have, and I was so happy to fucking see that, because even though I bought all the Pearl Jam records, you know, throughout the years.
I got them all.
Yeah, but I didn't keep seeing them.
Yeah.
But I saw them again, and they fucking rocked out, and the crowd were addicted, and it was a fucking amazing show. So that was really good to see, man.
Well, I mean, when you look at the impact of Seattle, it's incredible. Even the records that a lot of people don't know about, I think, are some of the best records. Like you recently tweeted Mad Season. That was Lane Staley's sideman with the guitar player from Pearl Jam, not Stone.
McCready.
McCready. And this record is unbelievable.
Right.
Like Artificial
It's a
Red.
downer.
It's a downer. Boy, you put that on, and it's like, uh-oh. You better be in a good mood when you put it on, because if you have any self-doubt or something, you can take yourself out. That shit is really like a weird vibe.
And
record.
McCready was just he was in fucking rehab, so he was a major boozer, drug addict, and he had just gotten clean. He's a phenomenal player.
I love McCready. You know why I like McCready? Because he's a fucking rock star.
Yeah, no, he's a phenomenal player.
It's funny because a lot of people down, like Kurt Cobain, down rock stars, you know, and he was a rock star. Kurt Cobain.
Oh my God, I know. He was just his problem, dude, was he was too fucking real. He didn't want anybody carrying his fucking shit. I understand it.
Yeah.
He was too genuine. He said he couldn't fake it anymore. And it's like, dude, I got the guitar. You don't have to carry it.
Yeah.
I understand that. Being
I feel
fucking
like
cool.
that sometimes when I'm out doing comedy.
You know what I mean?
You ever feel like that? You're just like, God, I can't fake this anymore. Get out of here. I don't like you.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, plowing through jokes, I cannot plow through fucking jokes. And for better or for worse, probably for worse, I mean, I'm no entertainer. It's IDM. What the fuck is it called? I have no idea. So I do gigs for me, and that's it. Right? Jokes for me, which is not a good thing necessarily.
Right.
But it's got to be as genuine as it can be. Otherwise, would have been out a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I understand the attempt to be genuine that he had, but like you were saying, heroin fucking killed that guy. If it wasn't for smack, you can deal with your stomach issues or whatever. And if you get by that, and you can get sober, years pass. I mean, you fucking did it, and then you're cool.
Yeah, you just got to. I think you got to realize what you want to do more on the planet. Do you want to just get high,
right,
or do you really dig what you're doing while you're getting high,
right?
And that's how I started looking at it. As like, well, I don't want to fucking die because I haven't got to where I think I'm supposed to be yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't want to be that guy. I mean, believe me.
But you were never in the throes of a fucking major heroin addiction either,
that's right. I mean,
so that's a different ballgame.
I was into major coke, speed, and booze.
Right.
And man, I tell you what, when you see shit, here's the thing. If bad shit didn't happen to me, I would still been on it and probably died.
Right.
You have to crash.
Right.
And realize, like, man, I'm fucking up. Some people crash and they don't even realize, and they're just out there in the streets of Hollywood right now, just pieces of shit.
I mean, you've seen it.
People and stuff.
Yeah, you've seen it. I mean, as many years as you've been doing it. Think of all the fucking dudes in Seattle we're talking about. How many guys, buddies, have they seen fucking
Oh, there's got to be a million guys dead from that shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
that you never heard
kept
of.
The score, that
Right.
were all in garage bands
Right.
that didn't make it and died.
Dude, Staley is he's my favorite voice, lead singer, 100%. I'm bummed when I hear him sing. It bums me out.
Right.
I kind of almost like it. It's like, I feel the comfort in being sad. Cobain, fucking great line.
Yeah.
It makes you feel kind of alive or whatever, but it still fucking majorly bums me out. When I see that dude, when I hear that dude, I'm bummed.
But
it's art,
Here's I was talking about this with on the Marin podcast. Was I remember I was booking a club in San Francisco called the Stone, and me and my buddy were also doing the Omni. And I remember I booked Alice in Chains and Pearl Jam, who were called Mookie Blaylock.
Mookie Blaylock,
That's
right.
right. Now, there was another club in town that was trying to rival us. And so they were just buying any of the packages that were coming through. So this one came through, and they went with them. And then the day that they were supposed to play the club, they went out of business. So I remember the tour manager called us and said, "Hey man, we got Alice in Chains and we got this other band, Mookie Blaylock." I go, "Yeah, I tried to get you guys in here, but you fanned us and went to the other place." I understand, money,
Right.
And he goes, "Well, they're out of business. We need a place to play. Can we play there tonight and just start calling people?" This is way pre-internet,
Right.
There ain't no internet or shit.
Right.
So we just I go, "All right, we'll give you $500. Come by."
You can't put up flyers that fucking fast.
No, and we just start calling everyone like, "Hey, Alice in Chains is coming here." We even went to the club that was out of business and put shows.
And it was packed though, right? I bet it was fucking packed,
It was
right?
about 200 people.
Cool.
Out of which it probably would have been about 800.
Not
because
packed.
of just the word was getting up the street that this scene was just
Right.
blown up.
Right.
So they played, and I remember it was just an epic night. I hung out with Lane and later
Wow,
saw
cool.
him again and again.
And they're great. He was a great dude, right?
He was a great
That's
dude.
what everyone,
Yeah. As a matter of fact, there was a time, and I wanted to talk about this story, was after, Andrew Wood dies, one of the greatest records ever comes out of Seattle, Temple of the Dog, which was a tribute record to the singer for Mother Love Bone. Andrew lived with Chris Cornell from Soundgarden. They were best friends. Cornell writes these two incredible songs. One's Say Hello to Heaven. The other one's Reach Down.
Right.
This record is monumental.
It's great.
Monumental in the Seattle world of just incredible, because it brings all the guys together, and they're basically like, "Hey man, we got to fucking get our heads together."
Yeah.
So I saw
They flew up, like the Vedder was just kind of added to that record. 'Cause
Yeah,
that was right when
that was getting
he didn't
formed.
really know those cats, and then the video came out, which is a fucking hunger strike.
Yeah.
But that one of those tunes you're talking about closes the documentary that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Say Hello to Heaven.
Say
Such
Hello
a
to
fucking great song. Incredible
So
song.
great.
Yeah.
But I saw them. Temple of the Dog never played a gig. I think they played one in Seattle. But there was these parties that Rip Magazine would put on once a year here in Hollywood, and they played the Palladium. So it was Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, and then they did Temple of the Dog at the end.
Cool.
I remember at the time Lane was sober, and I didn't know. He had gone to rehab like the second time. And I went and got a couple beers and handed him one, and this woman was like, "You asshole," and knocked him out of my hand. "He's sober."
Oh,
I was like, he was like, "Sorry, dog." I remember that like key time in my life. But I saw Temple of the Dog, and I was talking to Ari Shafir about it a couple days ago. It's really cool to think about that whole Seattle thing of like a brotherhood.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I look at Meltdown comics now. They're kind of a brotherhood in there. They're getting their thing, and those guys really made something. Here we are 22 years later.
Well, that's the thing, dude. It's like I knew it was knowing classic rock and knowing a lot of bands. I knew then when it was happening, Smashing Pumpkins I fucking loved. That first Gish record was amazing.
I hate the Pumpkins. It's
dude,
weird.
Listen, Billy Corgan can't sing.
Yep.
Can't sing,
Right.
which I've always kind of...
There's a lot of people that can't sing. It was just something
dude,
I didn't like
that
about
Gish record.
Yeah.
Do you know the Gish record?
Oh, I know the records.
Okay.
Fuck yes. Siamese twins, all those things.
I loved
Siamese
that.
Dream or
I
whatever.
love that record. So I knew when all that shit was coming out, like it was a special thing. And it's like then 5 years pass, and you think it's always going to be there. I mean, fuck. When all that shit went down, if you remember up in the Bay Area, you might have been L.A. by then, but radio formats fucking changed.
Oh yeah.
I mean, KOME.
Yep.
KSU, they changed. Like, Felix changed, and all you heard was like fucking Seattle shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a huge impact. But then they changed back, and then it was gone. Then 5 years passed, then 10 years passed. Now it's fucking 20. And it was a space and time, so you appreciate it more. And it's music that people will always be able to get into if you're fucking 13, 14, 15. You discover shit, and you know.
Yeah, like I'm talking about right now. I've just discovered the Buzzcocks.
Cool.
Now I'm fucking into it. You know, there's so much great music out there. I think the key to that thing, though, the whole key to that to me was just like how much great music came out of there and how
It's
the
magic.
guys are still around right now.
Dude, it's magic because, you know, and they go kind of fucking, and Dino was talking about it. It's just a space and time in a place where kids are all kind of doing the same thing. They're hanging out together. It fucking, how many times does it happen in LA?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember being up. I remember
so many times.
Exactly.
Los Angeles
in
has
fact,
created some of the best
right.
music in the world forever.
At the same time, talking about Jane's Addiction, I remember seeing Lollapalooza up in the Bay at Shoreline. First one, I think Jane's headlined it. In fucking partying during the day with a buddy of mine who had the fucking Tool record, Opiate, that his friend from LA was like, you gotta buy this fucking record. So no one knew about fucking Tool then. He plays it, lets me have it.
Yep.
It's incredible. So you have that going on here.
Yeah.
Around the same time, and Tool is fucking that EP
Well,
is
Tool
unbelievable.
always felt to me like a San Fran band.
Right.
Because fuck, that was talk about soundtracks.
Right.
You know, you go through these waves. Like Mother Love Bone was everywhere in San Fran. They did the record at the record plant in Sausalito.
Right.
So there's really a lot of word of mouth going on.
Right.
Everybody knew. Oh, I love the Shine EP. But when Tool hit, I remember it blatantly. There was another bar I used to go to after Murray's called the Drunk Tank. This guy, Andy Anderson, owned it from Two Bit Thief. Tool was probably played in that jukebox fucking
Right.
all night.
It happens in LA.
Every night, man.
That's what LA, it all happens fucking first normally.
It really
Besides
does,
Seattle,
man.
it
Even
happens
back
first.
to like the Doors,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
Sunset Strip. There's an incredible documentary that Brian Redband and I, Brian from the Death Squad, somebody had turned us on to it last Friday. It's on HBO or Showtime right now. It's called Sunset Strip. It's a
Cool.
documentary on
Cool.
Sunset. And if you look at what Sunset Strip has created, and even right now, the reason I live in LA is because of the Sunset Strip.
Right.
And I work every night on at the Comedy Store.
Right.
That fucking street is the magic
Right.
of rock and roll. And not any other city, I don't believe. And especially even the Seattle guys, when they'd come, they'd be like, you know, like, oh man, we're playing the Roxy.
Right.
That's like a big deal, you know?
Right. Well, I love the fact that, you know, a lot of the music was kind of the same in the 80s.
Right.
But then, like, Jane's Addiction and Tool, that spawned out of fucking nothing. The Peppers, those guys
Right.
were up from up this fucking street. It's like they started that shit.
Yeah.
Besides
and look,
Bootsy
Jane's
Collins and all
another
that.
band,
Yeah.
Heroin.
Heroin, yeah.
Heroin,
yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
That, I mean, Jane's nailed it. you
But
know?
like, where did that fucking come from? That was
Yeah.
that was like little Led Zeppelin. It's a little bit
Totally.
like Mother Love Bone. Like, there's nothing else like it.
There's
they
nothing
created
like
their
it.
own shit, and
Yeah.
that's what I fucking love. The originality of it all. That's why all that hair band shit, I couldn't stand that. I beat off to the fucking cherry pie video.
You did?
Okay, yeah, all the you know, all these hot chicks.
That's some
But it's
accurate
all-
jack off. Because you got to go in through dudes. You know, like, there she is. No, there she is again. And maybe you nut right when Janie Lane's on the front, and you're like, no, I nutted to Janie Lane.
dude.
That could fuck you up as a man. Maybe that's why you have a mustache now and you're fucking no clothes on.
All I'm saying is, like, I get the hair bands and they love their fucking women, all those cheesy chicks,
Yeah.
and I loved all that. for the party, but art-wise, I hated that shit.
Well, here's
always
the deal.
hated it. I know you were you're into everything, but
I'm into everything.
anything different came around, I was all over it.
But
You know
there's
what I mean?
things. There's bad 80s. There's bad 80s. There's also bad Seattle. Because there was,
Right.
I mean, that's what Nickelback is.
Right.
Okay, that's what there was.
But that doesn't even count as fucking Seattle. There were so many bands that came out after that.
Seattle, but what I'm saying is, when you got a hair band like GNR Hits,
right?
Then you're
and that was original too. That wasn't a fucking hair band, dude.
No, not at all.
That was not a hair band. I mean, that's what
they're not a hair band.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying in that era,
right?
Is when you have hair bands, to me are Winger,
right?
Trickster.
Call Skakel if you forget any. He'll
yeah, Earl Skakel. Earl cut his hair last night.
Did he cut his hair?
By the way, I'm letting you guys know he sold out finally. He's Metallica in the Load era.
Oh no!
He cut his hair last night.
Oh no!
We'll get into that when he's back on. But you always have bad bands that come out of great bands. You know, I remember Seattle had a bunch of bad bands come out.
There's always more fucking shit bands than there are great bands in any fucking genre.
Not bad bands, but they just copy them. There was a band called My Sister's Machine. They sounded exact Alice in Chains. You know, there's a lot of bands like that out of Seattle. They were good. But did you ever get into this band, Brad?
No.
Man, that's Stone Gossard's other side project called Brad with one of the greatest singers of all time named Sean Smith.
Cool.
Who is fucking like a white prince. And I did some shows with him. If you don't own the record, Brad, you got to fucking get it, man.
Cool.
Stone Gossard. Also, great music out of Seattle. One of the greatest records, I think, is Afghan Wigs, Gentlemen.
Cool.
Wait, are they Seattle? No, I think they're...
Afghan Wigs, San Francisco, I thought.
No, I think they're
or
Cincinnati
LA
or something.
Oh, yeah, that dude is from Cincinnati.
But that's kind of that era, too, you know, that came out during that era. I think that Afghan Wigs, Gentlemen record.
Who's that? What's that band that came out after the Afghan Wigs? The same dude.
Oh, no, it was great.
That was it was a one-off. Or
I got that,
two albums.
Hold on, I got to piss. We're back in action right here.
How's your piss?
I had to piss, man.
Do you have a cherry pie video I can fucking go in the bathroom with?
Cherry pie video.
I also used to beat off to, what's that chick who dances?
Oh, yeah, I had her on my show. From Still in the Night.
No.
Tawny Katane?
No. Oh, her too. But no, it wasn't rock and roll. It was fucking... she was on America's Got Talent or whatever with Simon. What's that?
Oh, Britney Spears?
No, but that reminds me.
Yeah.
Your last fucking one of your last podcasts I was listening to. It was a Linda Perry one.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Where you say that was an amazing fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Loved every minute of it. But you were saying Christina Aguilera.
Oh, Aguilera, yeah.
Well, whatever the fuck you call her, you fucked it up. I just love the fact that you fucked it up. And I'm not going to even tell you her name. Please continue to fuck that up.
Yeah, you know why I fucked that up? It's because I don't really care.
Well, that's obvious.
I'm happy for Linda that wrote big tunes, but I remember that girl was just rude back in the day.
Who? The
Christina Aguilera.
She was a cunt?
Huh?
She was a cunt.
Well, you remember like these people get big and then they just think that they're fucking big stars.
Yeah.
And really, Linda wrote your songs. She's the star in my mind.
Right.
Whoever writes the song is the fucking winner. To me, you know how hard it is to write a song?
Yeah.
It's easy to learn. Not easy, but it's way easier to you just throw on the right clothes and have the right money thrown at it.
Yeah.
And titties hanging out and sing a hit that someone fucking
I can only imagine. I mean, and that's why, like, you know, I've been doing fucking stand-up for years and shit. Love doing stand-up. But I love fucking music so much. I would have rather been doing that. And I have zero musical ability. I've been playing the drums for a few years as of late.
Yeah.
But I can't even imagine sitting down writing a song. I'm a fairly creative dude, but I just can't even... I can't wrap my mind around even trying to do it. So that's why I appreciate it so much.
I mean, anything that's good is really hard to do.
Yeah.
Some people are really prolific songwriters or joke writers, like some of the people that write for the roast.
Right.
You see the jokes. They're that type of mechanics where they can just write a joke every day. They see stuff and they can write these quick things. And then other people write jokes kind of like Zeppelin. They're like sagas.
Right.
They're stories. They're way different things. But there's guys that can write songs every day too, like those guys from the Motown era and the Nashville guys.
Well, that fucking documentary, another documentary your fans should check out is the one I sent you, the Marvin Gaye documentary. I mean, he fucking wrote, when he wrote Sexual Healing, he didn't know it was a fucking hit. I mean, some of these cats, you know if it's fucking going to be huge or not.
Yeah.
Like if you write a bit, I mean, before I started stand-up, I was like, I wrote a few jokes. I'm like, I know I can do stand-up. I know this will fucking get a laugh.
Right.
But it's like most of the time, you have no fucking idea. And he had no idea that one of his hugest hits was like, are you sure this is good? She was like, yeah, this is fucking amazing.
Well, comedy's just like songwriting. Like, you ever do a joke and they laugh at a spot you didn't even think they were going to fucking laugh? That's how songs are.
That throws me off.
You know when you get a record
I hate that.
And track 8's the greatest one on it, you're like, whoa, this is a great fucking song.
Right. That's every album, dude. There's always a fucking deeper track
really
that's better
is.
than the fucking
bullshit. And that's
bullshit.
how comedy is. People laugh at spots you had no idea they're going to laugh at, and people grab onto songs.
Or they don't laugh at any spot.
Yeah, right. which is which will probably happen to me tonight. Just do new material at Neil Brennan show.
You're doing all new shit.
When did you get into comedy?
I moved down I moved from the Bay.
Yep.
At the end of '94. In fact, I saw the fucking Black Crowes at Slim's in the end of '94.
I went to that.
Did you go to that fucking show in December '94?
It was for the Amorica, right before Amorica came out.
Yes.
I never forgot that. There's some shows.
That
at Slim's.
was it.
I saw some shows at Slim's that'll blow my mind. One of them was that. I'll never forget it.
That's fucking killer. You're at that show.
You go, whoa, this band looks different all of a sudden. They had that guy on bongos from Venice Beach.
Yep.
They come out. They open with Conspiracy.
Do you remember what they opened with? That's fucking hilarious.
I really do, because it was like...
your brain is amazing.
Well, here's the thing. I have like some memory, and then it comes and goes. Like today, my memory's pumping. You know what I mean?
Well, that's amazing, because I loved that fucking... I could not wait. I mean, that's the thing about rock and roll for me. Like, you get into a band, you love a fucking band so much, and you cannot fucking wait for the new record to come out. Now it's kind of changed with the technology. It's all leaked and shit.
Yeah.
But back then it was just like, when is the fucking release date? Let me get the album or the CD out of the fucking case. But I loved the Southern Harmony. I was living in Musical Companion. I was living in Santa Cruz, man, smoking fucking weed, listening to that every day. And that was when all the grunge shit was happening too. But that was
Were you hanging at the Catalyst at all?
In fact, I saw the fucking Black Crowes. I was down in LA. I flew back up to see them at the Catalyst. Must have been fucking, what, 97. I forget, 97. But yeah, and the fucking, it was a bad storm. We got a hotel in Santa Cruz. The fucking lights went out. The power's all fucked up.
Oh.
But yeah, I've seen a few shows.
Did you get into the Mother Hips at all while you were up there?
No.
That's
never.
weird. I had Greg on my podcast.
Just the ugly lesbians. Stay with me. That's the one thing about LA. All the fucking lesbians are hot, but up fucking Santa Cruz, the capital, they're gnarly. But their softball team fucking kicks ass.
Well, oh, is that a joke?
Yeah. Not that I've done on stage. I'm just doing original material for your fucking podcast.
So you moved to LA?
So the point is I saw them at Slim's.
Comedy?
Yeah, I saw them at Slim's, and it was like the next day, maybe the day after, I saw that show, packed up my shit. I told my buddy, because I called down at that time in like San Francisco, it was like you had to be like a pro.
Yeah.
Talking about like times and shit. It was like there wasn't a whole lot of places to start. I called down to LA. I got the LA Weekly.
What got you into it? Like,
I mean,
you're going to college in San Jose, and all of a sudden you go, I'm moving to be a comedian.
Yeah. Well, at the end of college, I always loved comedy. I grew up with Richard Pryor fucking records. My old man I know all Richard Pryor, so he was my fucking hero. And then I would watch stand-up on TV, and I just knew I could do it.
We're about almost the same age. That '80s boom.
Yeah. I knew nothing about it. All I knew is I think talking about Maron. Maron had a show where they'd show clips of fucking comedy. Saw Dave Attell. He's still my favorite.
Wow.
Besides Bill Hicks, whatever. I was like, I can do that. I can write fucking jokes. I can do that. So call down to LA. Call down Joey Marmo, who fucking you probably don't know, who quit comedy. He answered the phone at the Comedy Store. He's like, yeah, man, you can get up every night here. So I was like, you know what?
Oh, is your buddy?
Yeah, I mean, he was a Comedy Store. He was there. He was around the Freddie Soto time and all that. It was before your time. I'm like a fucking.
I've only been doing it 3.5 years.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you're rocking and rolling, but back then, it was like the fucking. Speaking of scenes, it was like the Dark Ages. There was really nothing going on.
Yeah, I heard that there was like
it was crazy.
It was
man.
kind of grim down there.
I walked in the Comedy Store. Holtzman on Sunday nights. Holtzman would go up, who's fucking brilliant, and then it was Freddie Soto started working the open mic. I remember Freddie Soto had no material.
Right.
He would get up, and I don't know if you ever seen him. Great comic.
I know who he is, but I didn't see Freddie Soto. I know exactly who he is.
Great comic, and I remember him getting up on the fucking stage in the OR, and he had no jokes. I mean, he'd just get up there and fucking talk shit.
Oh, like Dice Man, early Dice Man.
Whatever the fuck. I mean, it was just like, and then I watched him become a fucking monster. I mean, that's the great thing about that club. It's like,
exactly.
It puts fucking hair on your nuts, that stage, the OR. So, but moved down, took a job answering the phones at the store,
Oh, you were working at the store?
Yeah.
Here's the cool thing. I know nothing about you, about that. I mean, because when you and I
just talk about music.
That's all we talk about at the store. We never go like, so what's going on? So,
well, I don't want to talk about comedy.
Yeah, you're working at the store, and how old were you?
I was, I moved down, so let's see, I was 24. Mm-hmm. So I moved down, started gigging. I met my wife, my then wife, or my then fuck, whatever you call it.
Wow.
Jessica.
You still with
my
her?
girlfriend. Yeah.
Okay, so you can roll that.
Married 16 years last week.
Wow.
It's crazy. So I met her 6 months into doing it. And I remember so when we met.
At the store?
No, we didn't meet at the fucking store.
Okay.
I called her, though, our first date, I called her from the Comedy Store. In fact, you'll dig this story. The Black Crowes were playing at the Pantages.
I love it.
Okay, so in 95, the Amorica tour. So I saw them 94, San Francisco.
Was, by the way, the greatest tour.
Of course. They said I missed the Highs the Moon tour. I missed that.
I saw it.
It was killer, but I heard that was fucking killer. Not as good as Amorica.
But it's not. I like Amorica because you get a lot of Southern Harmony and you get a lot of Amorica.
Exactly. And those are the two fucking records.
And then you get the 3 songs from the first record.
And the Pantages shows, they played 3 fucking nights. One I saw, I think 2 or all 3. One of the nights they just played a whole fucking set acoustic, and then they fucking plugged in a whole nother set. That was the time. It was fucking Mark Ford was killer.
Yeah.
So I went to see them, and my buddies from the Bay Area flew down to see them with me at the Pantages. I met some lesbian. Speaking of lesbian, she was like bisexual. I was fucking this chick that I met a few months in here, right? So she had a baby. I remember she had a baby crying. I was fucking her on her fucking couch or whatever. I was just like going, where am I? This is fucking crazy. So I took her to the bar that my buddies were flying down. We were seeing the Crowes the next day. They flew down, picked her up, and I was telling them, you can fuck this girl. I got y'all set up for pussy.
Yeah.
Right? She fucks, she does anything, she does chicks. So we're at the bar in Venice. Me and my buddies are fucked up. She loves chicks. So I was like, let's find you a fucking girl. We'll all fucking party.
Yeah.
So I was like, I go, well, let's go. And she goes, I like that girl over there. Though I like those 2 girls over there. So I approached my wife. And,
that's how you met your wife.
Yeah.
You're setting her up for a lesbian threesome.
Sadly. But I'm like, hey, what's happening?
You have kids with this woman.
Yeah, a couple of them. Yeah. And hopefully only fucking a couple of them. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I saw a picture of your daughter. Hilarious. She's like in the back seat of a car or something.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great.
How old are your kids?
They are, Shay's 10, Fiona's 8. They're going to be 9 and 11 soon at the end of the year, September and November.
Wow.
So I'm fucked up, and I approach her and I'm like, how you doing? Nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. I'm with my girl tonight, and she thinks you're really fucking sexy. Because, like, they even kind of looked, she's like a hippie.
Right.
You'll meet my wife, you come over, fucking hang it by the pool.
Yeah, I saw you had a nice pool. Are you guys rich?
No, not rich, but I bought a house long enough ago that I'm fucking cool.
How did you get money?
I fucking bought a house with fucking got a teacher loan, man, way back.
A teacher loan?
I also teach high school.
Oh, you teach high school? Whoa! You actually teach high school now?
Yeah.
As a real teacher?
Tomorrow morning.
What the fuck?
You always done a painstaking fucking research having me over.
I don't like to do research because I'd rather have it come out organically. You know what I mean?
Well, look, I get it. I wasn't expecting to talk to you about fucking meeting my wife, but anyway.
No, but it's
I get it.
I want to get the gist of it because
we're fucking boys now, so you're gonna fucking find out anyway.
You're now. What grade do you teach?
It's high school.
High school.
Yeah.
That's got to be rough, huh?
No, it's mellow. It's
where
mellow.
are you at?
It's
Oh, you don't want to say it.
Well, I can't talk too much about it because it's a.
Don't worry about it. But
okay,
are
cool.
you in L.A.?
Yeah. It's like juvenile offender kids and shit like that.
Now,
so,
what about? Do you have to watch what you tweet and shit? They're like, "Hey, look at our teacher."
The thing is, like the closest I've got. I did Kimmel. I did stand up on Kimmel a few years back.
Oh, you did?
Okay, so I got my principal back then called me in. They're like. She's like, I heard that you did a fucking stand up on TV and talked about the kids.
Right.
And I was like, because she got a call for, it's fucking, and that was back, that was a few years back.
One of the parents had to see it, right?
Well,
up late, you're talking
I don't know. I don't know who it was. I asked her, I'm like, tell me who and what. She's like, I'm not saying anything, but did you? I was like, yeah. I'm like, fucking please do me a favor. Fire me right now.
Yeah.
I'll fucking sue. This is America.
Yep.
The First Amendment. I didn't say anything too harsh.
Right.
But so since then, I've tweeted 1,000 jokes.
Hoping to get fired.
No. I definitely don't know. in a strange way, maybe.
Yeah.
But
now wait,
but I tweet. It has nothing's happened negatively before that or after that.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But I'm a respected teacher. They love me down there.
Yeah.
And the kids
what do
are cool.
Teach?
I teach everything.
Everything. You're like just
rock and roll. I got self-contained class, so it's a little bit of soccer, reading, math.
Oh, it's like that. It's
pussy.
Like a hippie school.
It's not really.
You know what I always say? Do they get to call you Jason?
I teach how to pick up fucking chicks who are straight who you thought were lesbians.
Yeah. Do they get? I got a new joke.
Hey,
I'm
G.
on.
No, they don't fucking. They just call me G.
I always said you could tell the teacher that smokes weed because he's the same one that let you call him by his first name back in the day. So it's like, my name is Ken Smith. You'll call me Ken. And you're like, oh, this guy burns
Well,
weed.
back in the day, you're fucking sharing a J with a kid and you're fucking then boning his sister. Remember back in the day, like all these fucking dudes would fuck teenage chicks and nobody said anything, and then the chick would move in with him and shit.
That was weird, right?
Yeah, I mean,
and the chicks now got to be hard to like work with because they got like giant boob. All the girls are like all like half naked, and, and their bodies are crazy, right?
Yeah. Well, I teach all boys, so luckily I don't have to deal with that. Although I did teach only like fuck man. Pregnant Latinas.
Oh wow.
So they would have their baby and then they had the daycare downstairs, so they bring their baby. the daycare was downstairs, and then and I would teach them up there. Yeah, and then they'd bring their kids up to class and be like, "You can't bring your fucking kid up here, Maria. Leave us alone, mister." Yeah, but they were sweet girls and stuff like that. But that was only about a year and a half.
Leave us alone, mister.
They told me they love me though too. They told me you're the only white guy we ever liked, mister.
Oh my God!
But then I'm back to all boys now. But
that's amazing, man. That you actually, you did Kimmel and you're a teacher.
Yeah.
I'm out there every night. I can't even do fucking. I don't even have a manager or agent.
Well, bro, you're fucking strumming your guitar for fucking 2 decades.
It's true. Yeah.
Listen, you're doing right where you want. Right, you're right where you should be.
Yeah.
You're this fucking podcast. I love. I don't listen to.
That's how we met. You were a fan.
Yes.
And you listen to a lot of people. If you've never knew, I had another podcast called Poolside with Delray.
That's what the first thing I heard.
And I did an episode on the Guns N' Roses, the impact that Appetite for Destruction had on me.
And I don't even think that's how I started listening, because Ian Edwards, who I do a soccer podcast with.
That's right.
Soccer Comics, if you're a fucking soccer fan.
Yeah, now check that out. It's on All Things Comedy, Bill Burr's network.
Ian told me he was doing a rock and roll thing. I'm like, why? He doesn't know shit about rock and roll. Like our podcast, he starts off with all rap music and shit, which I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But why was he on your fucking rock and roll?
That's what's great about it, though. You know what I mean?
You throw in somebody. Yeah, that makes sense.
When you get a guy that legitimately doesn't know anything about rock, it's great because they're going to ask questions that the outside world might ask. Because you got to think. Like today, we're doing this podcast and we're so into it. And you might have people like 20 minutes into it going like, yeah, man, these guys are the fucking like the Seattle, man.
Right.
This ain't 1990.
Right.
But what people don't understand is if something impacts you and you talk about it, other people grab onto it.
Yeah, but now I was thinking that too, man. But it is harder than ever probably to make that happen.
Yeah.
You just got to find your fucking niche audience. I was on stage the other night. I mentioned your podcast.
You did?
Yeah. Classy Lauren, she lives with a lesbian.
Uh-huh.
And I was just up there gigging and I'm like, oh, who's the hot lesbian in the crowd? Oh, that's your Lauren's, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you check out fucking Linda Perry on Dean Delray's podcast, blah, 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 blah. And then I mentioned the Mother Love Bone shit. In the crowd, nobody knew anything. Didn't know Linda Perry. Didn't know fucking rock. I mean, granted, we are talking about 20 fucking years ago.
Right. But also...
it's sad. It's fucking sad.
But also, if you're into some, like right now, I mean, we could be talking about Jack White. We're still going to... We love Jack White. I'm just saying there's great shit out there right now.
Right.
You can easily talk about it.
Right.
There's all kinds of great stuff.
The point is, dude, people will catch on to this fucking shit because it's too good and nobody is doing what you're fucking doing and nobody can do what you're doing. Nobody has that fucking background. No comics that I know, and I know every comic in fucking town, zero. So I have that.
I want to bring back the rock and roll comic, the Sam Kinison. I'm not saying I'm trying to be Sam Kinison.
Or want to die.
But I want to have some outlaw to the comedy.
Right.
As far as, even Ari Shaffir said something great a couple days ago. And I love Ari.
He's truly an outlaw, showing his fucking dick. That's about as outlaw
I
as you
like
can
Ari
get.
because you know what? The guy's fucking stone cold honest, man. He came right on here and went, oh, yeah, I got fucking warts on my balls.
Yeah.
It's like, well, all right. And you're waiting the next day for him to go, hey, cut that out. And he's like, no. Absolutely.
Well, dude, that whole amazing racist shit is literally that amazing. Like, who else would fucking do that but Ari?
Radical dude. But he said a great thing yesterday in the hallway. And he said, he's like, yeah, man, I was up there at the Outside Land.
I was there with him. He got me fucking...
I saw your tweet.
It was incredible. Right? It was incredible.
So... He's like, I'm watching, he was like watching, he goes, Paul McCartney, man, it's a fucking show. I get it. Like, he's up there, it's show business. You got to do a show as alternative and alty as you want to be and hip. I think at the end of the day, too, you can have both. And he was like, Kevin Hart, I get it when he says blah, blah, blah. And the fire is going on there's a new movie. Kevin Hart had fire on the last tour. And people are like, whoa, Kevin Hart had fire. There's different levels. And I'm not saying I want to be some fucking 80s rocker doing comedy on stage. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I want to, I want to have the fucking wildness of like, whoa, fuck, like. Right now, I'm talking a lot of stuff about music, and some people get it and some don't. And I always laugh when I go into like talking about how much cocaine I did in the '80s. The whole room goes quiet.
Oh, dude, listen, I've seen fucking stand up change. First of all, when I started, all these fucking hot comedian chicks now. When I started, they were fucking few of them, and they were gnarly looking.
Yeah.
Ugly now all these women are fucking hot because there's so much easy entry into it. Comedy's so out there, so every asshole thinks they can do fucking stand up.
Yeah.
So comedy's changed, and like now with all the political correctness shit, the other night I did a joke. I say, I have to start saving for college because after I leave my wife and kids, I'm going back to school.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Better myself. Silence. I heard this. Oh my God. Yeah. Like, people are so fucking stupid
that
they think...
And it's so dumb.
You're
fucking on a stage
They're retarded,
club.
bro.
Yeah.
10 years ago,
Yeah.
it was not like that. That's a fucking laugh. It's a great joke. People are stunned.
Yeah.
You say something like, oh my God, and you hear them go gasp. And you're like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yep.
You're a fucking idiot. Even down like, dude, I mean.
I was talking to
it's
Pete
changed,
Holmes
man.
about it. I did Pete Holmes' podcast, which I think comes out this Wednesday.
I don't know that dude. I know. I think he's with Dave Rath, who's a former manager of mine who I fucking love. But I'd like to meet that guy.
He's a really great guy.
Cool.
He's really fucking funny.
Cool.
And he's a crazy hard worker. And he's going to be a huge star. I mean, he already is in the underworld, you know. But he's got a talk show coming out after Conan.
Cool.
And he said, "What do you think the hardest thing about comedy is from music? You know, you came from music, now you came in there." And I said, I had no idea that I was starting comedy during the era of good-looking dudes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And he called them the tight T-shirt comics.
Right.
Which is amazing because I wear tight T-shirts because I'm fat. But I know what he's saying.
Right.
The guys throw a tight T-shirt on, they lift a little bit, and they go down there, and the chicks go, "He's funny."
Right.
You know what I mean? I had no idea. And I compared it to music where that's really what happened in the 80s where record companies they didn't give a fuck about the music. All they said was the number one thing, which I talked to Billy on Flame about, was, what's he look like?
Right.
What do they look like? Do they got long hair?
Right.
Sign them.
Right.
Sign them if they got long hair.
Right.
Fuck it. You know what I mean? And then you get a guy that comes around later on, like a Kurt Cobain, of course, wipes that out. I had no idea, man. I thought comedy was fat guys. I loved Louis C.K. He's a guy with 2 kids.
Well, he's doing all right.
He's overweight. Yeah, but I understand that. But he's been in the game forever.
Right.
I'm just looking at, when I've started comedy, I'm looking at it on the outside world like, oh, yeah, these guys are all just crazy lunatics. This is going to be perfect for me. And then you get in and you're like, oh.
Well, they are lunatics, but.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
But you look at guys and you go like, whoa, there's like, this guy just started. Why is he working?
Just what I told you. Just keep fucking doing what you're doing. And that's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's all you can do. And I mean, the stand-up, I remember seeing you. I've seen you at that fucking stoner show, which was killer.
Oh, that was awesome.
The weed show was killer. They pay you in weed. It was at a dispensary. It was like Amsterdam. They
and
cut
you'd
that
be
out.
fucked up from the smoke in there.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't party. I'd leave. I'd be like, dude, I got to ride home. I'm on a motorcycle going. I'm stoned.
For sure. I remember. That exactly happened because, I'll smoke a joint, drink beer, but I don't drink or smoke before a gig.
Right.
I'm always straight.
Yep.
But I remember sitting there waiting to go up going, I am fucked up.
Yeah, me too.
Because they're hitting that fucking, they were hitting that pipe, that hash.
They had that crazy weird fucking, looked like
a hash
something,
bar.
It looked like something out of Tron.
Yeah.
Dudes were smoking shit off something out of
and you're severely fucked up.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then you get on stage and they hand you a joint or whatever. But then I remember seeing you the first time I was stoned at the Red Rock. And I thought you were fucking hilarious.
Right.
And I had never seen you before. This is a few years ago. And you gave me your card or whatever. I was like, man, you're really fucking funny, dude. Where did you come from? Because I hadn't been to the store in a while. I'm a regular, but I just stopped calling in. It got too late to spots or whatever. So I knew you were there. I didn't know about you.
Right.
So you're a great comic and you have the fucking background. This podcast is where it's at. So you'll always be able to gig.
I love
keep
this
fucking
thing.
doing this podcast.
I mean, the dream for me is to put together 3 guys, go on tour. Like, say I bring you, me, and Earl. Different guys all the time.
Right.
We go out, we each do 30, 25 minutes.
Love it.
And then at the end, we do a live podcast, and we have people come up and ask questions about anything rock and roll.
Right.
It's a rock and roll tour.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of dudes our age that would fucking like to see that. And a lot of younger people that you can expose to shit. I was always the one growing up that I would expose people to music. Like the dude I gave to. It's like, listen to this, listen to this, listen to this. And then 2 years later, they'd be like, oh, dude, they'd have their shirt on. Their fucking concert shirt.
Yeah.
And be like, I thought you said they sucked. It's like, so.
Oh, I get it now.
Right. So it's good to expose people to shit.
Let's get into some, got a couple questions here before we split.
Cool.
Okay, so I had people tweet. First one is, Where is that fucking thing? Here it is. Who do you think has better lyrics? Chris Cornell or Jerry Cantrell?
Well, it's got to be Chris Cornell when he went soft for those 2 records. No, I'm fucking with you. No, hey, I'll tell you what, man. I love them both. And I would definitely... Cantrell's amazing. I mean, he's the guy that writes the fucking songs, I
fucking
thought.
love him, man.
You know what I mean? I mean, that dude... And that dude is fucking cool shit. I was watching a documentary about him and fucking Kenny, the drummer. Those guys are funny fucking dudes.
Yeah, great dudes, too.
Great
I've met
dudes.
them quite a few times over the years.
They
come to the factory a lot.
Oh, do they really? Oh,
yeah,
that's
they go
cool.
to see Dane and stuff.
Oh,
like
wow,
Dane's
really?
friends with him.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
I guess
fucking
he
cool.
has a poker game. And a lot of guys play.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a talented guy. I remember him
the
saying,
Rooster's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's that's a heavy
I love
track.
Rain When I Die.
Well, what about the track that Ryan Adams covers? Down in a Hole.
Oh, unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
You know, you could just say unbelievable to every song they do, man. Lately, I've been getting into the Three-Legged Dog record, the third one, which is just called Alice in Chains.
Right. That it was 96 or something that came out.
Yeah, and Dave did that one also.
Yeah.
And you know, that thing, here it is. I listen to it all the time. I love this song, Grind, Heaven Beside You.
You love it.
Head Creeps, Again.
Yeah, I love Again. That's the jam I was talking about.
It's so great, right? Frogs.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are so original.
I would say, to answer the question, probably Cantrell and then the rest two. But that Super Unknown record.
Yeah.
I mean,
some of the lyrics that Cornell does are kind of throwaway, though.
Yeah.
I really love the Loud Love record. I think is the finest.
Louder
record
Than Love. Yeah.
Yeah, come out of Seattle, man.
Really, that's not even grunge. That's more like fucking
it's like
heavy metal.
Sabbath,
Yeah.
Zeppelin.
Yeah.
And when I first heard that, I remember I got it. The '89 earthquake hit. I remember we were rocking it out, just full blast, and the quake hit. The Giants game was on.
I was up there, dude. I was in fucking Los Gatos, and that happened. And I walked out of my house, and I saw the fucking light pole, the power line, swaying back and forth, like I was hallucinating. It was insane. The power.
That Louder Than Love record, man, and also the one right after it, you know, with
Rusty Cage, Jesus Christ Pose,
man.
Yeah, killer. I think the Super Unknown record was their best fucking record.
Yeah, it was good. It was just kind of like,
bro, for a dude who loves Zeppelin, man, they had some fucking heavy Zeppelin fucking riffs on that record.
But that Louder Than Love record, man, like Hands All Over.
I don't know that record too much.
It's got like Hands All Over. It's got Loud Love.
Yeah.
And that I Just Want to Fuck. I just want to fuck. It's so weird for that to come out of Seattle, you know? Like, I always picture them singing it and then sound like Cobain in the back going, man, you fucking posing. You know what I mean? Everyone's got some kind of back of the room comment.
Yeah. Well, that dude hated everybody, but him and fucking Pearl Jam actually, they ended up being fucking cool and better.
Whatever, you know, it's all good. Great to have you, dude.
Love it.
And we'll have you again, man.
Love it. I
always say will, like there's 9 of us.
This is a one-man operation.
It's great having you by, man. We're gonna. Where can we find you, man?
irishcomic.com, and at Jason Gillearn on Twitter.
Yeah, spell that. Because I'm not saying my listeners are.
I get it. Gill. Everybody fucks it up. Gillearn. Gillearn.
Yeah.
At Jason Gillearn on Twitter, and I write jokes on Twitter. So fucking.
Right there. Also, gonna give a couple shout outs before we split. Rival Sons is out there on tour. Go see them. Rival Sons, please check them out. Also, the Sheepdogs are on tour. These are bands I love. Black Crows out there too. Go see the Black Crows.
November, fucking
Wiltern. We're gonna go 3 nights. They got Jackie Green on guitar.
You know that cat?
I do know that guy. Yeah.
Cool. Fucking cool, man. He's from
Choice.
Yeah, he's from Salinas, man, which
That's
is
right.
the fucking asshole of Northern California.
Yeah, that's where Chris Isaac's from.
Is that right?
I think so.
I'm
or Sammy Hagar, one of those guys.
I'm stunned that Annie, like rock and roller, and he's a phenomenal player. Like I saw him live, like would come out of Salinas because it's like heavy rap, fucking gangs, murder.
Oh,
It's a rough fucking place.
it's an agriculture town.
Yeah,
where
yeah,
just,
yeah.
You know, you've just
Yeah.
got like pickers living there, and
Yeah.
it's a complete gangster.
No, it is. So he
Yeah.
came out fucking somehow fucking playing blues, rock and
You
roll.
got to
It's
come
cool.
from somewhere, right?
Right, no shit.
I remember Marin one time. I said, "Man, I hope I don't die from that." He goes, something's got to kill you, right?" I fucking laughed so hard. It's a good. You got to come from somewhere. Okay, so Black Crows. I'm gonna be at the Comedy Store this week, of course. I don't know. Let me see. Oh, come see me in Cabo Comedy Festival. Me, Ari Shafir, and Jim Florentine are going to be out there October 2nd.
That
through the
sounds like a
6th.
party.
That's going to be good, huh? Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, subscribe, tell your friends, and that way Jason can be right. Like I told you, that podcast was going to be huge. There you go. And, don't forget his podcast, The Soccer Comics, with my good friend Ian Edwards, and Francisco Ramos is on it.
Yeah, Francisco
God, what a weird combo, the three of you.
Well, that's the thing. It's like white, black, Hispanic. So we're
You're covering all markets.
California soccer.
And that's on the All Things Comedy Network,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's also on iTunes. And thank you for coming by, dude.
Love it. Had a great time. Fucking
So great.
We'll do it again, brother.
Come back and we'll talk some GNR again.
Love it. Cheers,
There we
brother.
go. Thanks for tuning in to Let There Be Talk. Yeah.